Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were.
I would use face cam, but it'd cover up part of the gameplay. I generally don't like to do that on full thing videos.
Open doors, he entered the door on
You
his
fucking
left.
bitch, I want to go back out and troll it.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
What the fuck is this shit?
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Alright. Zoom in on that bitch. Everyone is fucking unique. Oh yeah, I saw that Vectrex.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I went straight into the pits of hell. Damn, I wish I could read that. It looks like writing about something. Let's see. I wrote this in first period and left this in your locker. The cat is on a motorcycle. Alright.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to
Wait,
himself,
what the fuck?
maybe I am crazy.
Is this just going in a loop? It is. This is totally going in a loop.
Mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all.
This
None
is
of it
completely
made
going
any
in a
logical
loop.
sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy.
I think he might be crazy.
And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while
Bitch, it closes too fast.
So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently
Oh, what the
float
fuck is
above
this?
the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared.
What the
it was
fuck?
so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice.
You know, I have thought
describing
processes
me,
like this
thinking
sometimes,
about how it's
where you really
describing
think
my
about it.
thoughts, he thought.
That
He thought it all very odd.
when you
Wondered
think
if this
about
voice
thoughts and
spoke
stuff
the
like that in
words.
your head, like when you voice stuff out in your head, that it's actually you doing it. Like, that you are this person controlling this vessel of, you know, bones and flesh and stuff like that. That you're walking around and having that go on. That it's all that you are yourself, if that makes any sense. And you think about that sometimes and you realize that. That you are encapsulated, you are encompassed in this brain that is in your head.
How else would the voice explain all
And everything that your body
This
does,
voice was a
everything
part
that
of
you think and all that
himself,
stuff,
too.
is coming from that
If he could
brain.
just- He would prove it. He would
I have
prove
those
that
thoughts
he
pretty
was
often.
in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin.
Thanks, Britzy.
The press of the mattress on his back. The fresh air of a world outside this one.
Hey, real trimmer.
Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine.
Well, clearly, fucking those, I need to go back to the left and go up to the boss's thing and see what happens.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up.
Yeah, this is a hell of an ending.
Stanley. I have a boss, I have an office, I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real, I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What the fuck?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there.
I'd say it's a lot more than a fucking moment.
And then she turned and ran.